So this is what it looks like every day when I come outside to do chores, like in the evenings. They wait for me at the gate, and if they see me, they yell. And the closer I get, the quicker they start walking towards the barn. And of course, we have Miss Ellie. Hi. That's Killer, our chicken, and Zaxby, our rooster. Oh, look at them. They're so funny. Please excuse our mud. Are you guys hungry? Oh. I see you, Ollie. Hello, buddy. Hello, Lily. Pretty big bellies walking. Well, that's Lila. Her and Coco are the first ones due. That's Tuscany right here, waddling along. Gloria. It's Coco and Lala, and then Gloria here, the black one, and Karma. And Risky's not due till later in March. This is Risky. Hello, Risky. Hello, Gatsby. They are hungry goaties. Hi, Scott. There's Irma. Alice. Freedom. Alice. May. Hello, May. Isabella. Ah, Elfwin. Elfwin is extremely hormonal. Alright, time to do chores, girls. Dinner time. Hey guys, this is Jenna with Hill Valley Farm, and I was going through our birthing kit and I just thought I would go ahead and do a video. The reason I'm going through my birthing kit is because as of yesterday, we are 2 weeks away from the very beginning of our kidding season. And so we have Lila and Coco that you've heard me talk about. They are due February 13th, 2022. And that does not mean that they will go on those dates, but it means that I need to be ready with everything. And so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and go through the kit. So first and foremost, when you're choosing containers to hold your kit, you want something that's easy to carry. And so I have the plastic tote here, and I have a couple bags back here. It has, it's easy to pick up, and I can also carry it by its handle out to the barn. And it has a lid, so because it's in the barn, you've got straw and hay and dust and all that. So you want something to keep the lid on it so that it's nice and clean and you don't get a bunch of stuff in it. So we'll go ahead and take the lid off of this part right here. First and foremost, I ordered some new gloves. Gloves are just very important, and I really don't have to say anything else. But gloves are really a nice thing to have. So get yourself some gloves. Also, a bulb syringe. This is actually from a NICU that out of a hospital that my mother-in-law used to work at. And so we have these really nice, strong bulb syringes. That's just really important because when the kid comes out, they're slimy and you're trying to dry them off and they're trying to cough all that junk out. And so you want to be able to squeeze, put it in their mouth or even at their nose and pull out. This is actually one of Caden's things that he does. He likes to help them breathe, and by sucking out the stuff in their lungs and, in their nasal passages. So bulb syringe is actually very important. Another thing, and I'm not going to get them out right now. I have them, I boil water and sterilize them that way. But I have a little It's like a little stainless steel shot glass thing. And scissors and hemostats. I've never actually had to use the hemostats, thank goodness, but I do have these scissors. And that is to cut the umbilical cord shorter, and then I put the betadine, which is, I have 2 big bottles of betadine in this bag so they don't leak. So I keep that in bags. Put the betadine in this container, and then I hold the kid and put the umbilical cord into the betadine. And I hold it there for a good 10 to 15 seconds. And then I just let the kid down. And the betadine just it cleans the area, and it also helps it dry out faster, because that's what you want. You don't want any bacteria going up into that umbilical cord. That is very, very bad. So we don't want that. So that's why I have those. And a lot of times, the umbilical cord is not short, and the mom will try to, chew it off, and it just gets kind of long and stringy, and it's just gross. So you want to cut that and put the betadine on it so it works. We also have, I love my oral syringe. This is actually a small oral syringe. If you've ever been around livestock, you know these are actually normally a lot bigger, but this is just a 10 cc oral syringe. And I keep Nutri-Drench, and Nutri-Drench is really nice for the does that have been laboring really a long time, and they're not interested in eating. They're just too tired after the long birthing process. So I like to give some Nutri-Drench to those does, and it will actually encourage them to eat as well. So Nutri-Drench is a very big go-to. Last year I had to use that at least on a couple of our does. So I definitely recommend having Nutri-Drench. Also, hand sanitizer, really important. If you have to go in, you want to make sure that you have clean hands before you do that. And so there's that. I also carry a cup. It's actually a little bowl with a lid. And the reason is if I have a weak kid, like last year, and we have to bring her in, I need to be able to get some colostrum for that kid. And I need to have a way to carry it without spilling it, because I have all this stuff with me. And so I will put colostrum, I'll milk the dough out just in the stall and put it in here and cover it and bring it in the house where I have oral syringes. And obviously I also keep bottles, and I have oral syringes in here as well. But I have a bottle, and it's in a bag, bottle and nipples. And so if I need to bottle feed a kid, I've not had to do that in the barn. I had to bring them in, get them warmed up, but I do like to have the bottle just in case. It's just something, a part of the kit. So anyways, recommend something like this, because again, you want to be able to carry it in the house without it spilling, because that colostrum is literally liquid gold. So there's that. I told you I also have oral syringes. Oral syringes are, they have like a tip on them. They're not the Lock syringes. They actually have a tip, and that's just really, it's just a lot better syringe for when you're trying to get fluids into a baby goat, because they're little. I also have Desitin. This is actually from the doe. After she kids, it can be messy back there. And so I get some nice warm soapy water, and I wash her off, rinse her off real good, with another bucket of warm water. And then I dry her really, really, really well back there. This is why we do udder shaves pre-kidding, because I want to get all that hair gone, because that hair will just keep the junk on there, okay? So once everything is nice and dry, and there's no hair because I've done an udder shave and a pre-kidding shave, I will actually put Desitin around the vulva and down the backside of her udder. And it really makes a big difference, because the fluids going down on that udder, it can really become uncomfortable for that doe. So Desitin just protects the skin of that udder and everywhere else. So Desitin is very, very important. Last year, again, I did a birthing kit video last year, and obviously, we needed all this stuff. But one of the things that I really didn't hone in on as much as I should have is the importance of thermometers. So I have just some lubricant jelly here, and that is for the thermometer. Because when you're in a barn and it is late at night and it is very cold outside and your doe is kidding and you notice one of the kids seems to be weaker than all the others, it just can't get up, or it has no get up and go, you don't know what its temperature is. And not knowing what a temperature of a kid is a very big problem if you're trying to get them to nurse, because it's not ever a good idea for them to nurse or put food in their system until they're at least 100 degrees. For goats, 101, 101.5 to 103.5 is the normal temperature. And so when you have a goat less than 100 and you're trying to get food in their body, that's not going to be good for their entire system. So I highly recommend a good thermometer. This is just a Walgreens brand. However, it is a rapid thermometer. And again, I cannot stress to you the importance of this, because when it is 3 a.m. and you're worried about this doe or this little kid, and you're taking her temperature, and your thermometer was a cheapo, and you're having to sit there and wait forever for it to beep, that's minutes that you could be doing something to get that that kid into the house and hurry and get the kid warm, and it's just a really bad idea to have a cheapo thermometer. I was just really thoughtful last year, and I realized I need to probably get a better thermometer that reads quicker, and I did. And so I was so glad when minutes really count. And so again, it's just a Walgreens brand, but it is a rapid reading thermometer. So highly recommend that. Cannot stress that enough. And I actually just keep one in the barn all the time. I keep one in the birthing kit as well. So I have one even after the birth, the following day, there's a thermometer in the barn. And so if I need to take a temp, I have a thermometer there too. And so it's just really important to always be watching the kids and know, okay, something's off. It seems weak. Let's check its temperature. That's the number one thing you're going to do first. So very important. A couple other things I have in here: selenium and vitamin E. We are so fortunate. We do not live in a selenium deficient area. And you can look those things up online to see what in your county your deficiencies are. But selenium is really not one of them. However, I have had a kid with selenium deficiency born. And the reason I knew that is because she was walking on her knees, on her back knees. And so I actually splinted her, but I also gave her literally 2 cc's. It's just a little dab on the finger, on the tongue, and she was fine after that. And so it just took one little dose. So I do like to keep that in the kit. Another important thing is Jump Start. This is actually Jump Start Plus. We keep this because I've always felt like this saved a couple of our kids in the past, where they were fine when they were born, and they were warm enough, but they just didn't have get up and go. They're just kind of weak. And so I gave them Jump Start, and it has just live microbials in it, and vitamins and minerals. And so it's kind of like a bolus of minerals for the kid, and it's actually a good thing. And I have been known, I've given it 2 and 3 times a day to one of our weak kids when we first started this. And so I highly recommend having Jump Start. I did give Ellie some Jump Start last year, and it did seem to help her. But one of the kids, he was born a couple years ago, and he was not looking great. And it was a couple days after birth, and she had lost her other kids. This one was born with her head back, and the other I never really understood what happened with him. But then he got weak, and so I gave this to him. It was Hercules. I don't know I don't think I was doing videos then. But we gave him Jump Start and he perked right up. Within literally 8 hours, he was perked back up and doing well. So I kind of gave him this for a couple days and he did just fine. So the rest of that is in here is, I do have some floss. If you don't feel comfortable cutting the umbilical cord, you can always tie floss around it. I don't really like to do that just because I know the dough is going to like lick the kid and try to eat, and I just don't like that, the pulling. So I've actually never done that. It was recommended by another breeder and I just haven't done that. And so, but I keep it in here just in case, like for some reason I was sterilizing my scissors and I don't have them, and you know, just enough to where I can get it closed and then I can come back later. So by later, I mean within like the hour. I do have a feeding tube. It's a stomach feeding tube here, and I hope I never ever have to use it, but we hope a lot of things, and sometimes we have to do things we always hope we don't have to do. But I keep it because you just never know. So that's it for this kit right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my stuff back in here, and just remember, you know, I just can't stress enough the importance of having a really good thermometer, because again, it's really all the difference in the world, or it can be all the difference in the world when, you know, again, those minutes really count and you're needing, you know, some action right then. I've just heard far too many people since our issue last year with, you know, weak or cold kids, you know, because it never fails. The temperature drops, the dough is in labor, or they go into labor. And I'm telling you, I just feel like weather is so related to these labors. And I mean, like today, I just read that someone lost a kid when she was weak and she couldn't nurse, and she just died. And so there are things that you can do. Definitely, you just have to make sure, you know, they're warm. One thing that I plan to do, and I don't have it in my kit yet, but I plan to put it in, is I have an extra hair dryer in the house. And so I'm actually planning to keep the hair dryer in this bag right here. And because I want to be able, because if it's cold and, you know, you're getting those kids dried off, and again, they're slimy and they've got the, you know, you're trying to get that off while the dough is licking them, and so it's kind of like you're working against all odds. It would just be a whole lot easier if you had a hair dryer, because you're making them warmer, and, you know, and then they're hungry and they perk up, and if they're warm and nice and, you know, they get that colostrum in there, I just feel like things would go a lot better. So that is one thing that I do plan to add that I have not done yet. I was actually doing that today. So, okay, so I have a lid on my bag here, and the things that are in this bag are mainly towels. And I will say, I don't love the great big towels. I actually really I have a friend from Ottawa that sent me some of these towels, and they're just a perfect size. And so I do like smaller towels because it's just easier to work with. And I have a ton of them because my friend donated some, and then my mom donated more. So if you are on Facebook or social media, you know, you can always post on there, hey, anyone need to get rid of some towels? I've had some friends do that recently, and that's a great thing because, you know, we always have towels we can donate to animal shelters, and for us breeders, we need them too. So in here, I have puppy pads, and the reason we have puppy pads is, I'll go ahead and open one up. When, you know, our does here do not have kids and us not be with them, we do attend every birth. And so when we are with our does and they are starting to push, I will go ahead and I will open this puppy pad up. And it's just like a normal puppy pad. On one side is plastic, and on the other side is like that cotton material. And I will slide this under her rear, and so that when she's pushing and the kid comes out, they actually land on this. It just keeps things cleaner. And so they land on this, and I literally pick this up and hand it to the doe while I'm working and getting, you know, the kid suctioned out. And, you know, she gets to see, oh, you know, what she did. And, oh, that's my baby. And so, because you immediately want them to start cleaning them off and bonding immediately. Because you don't want, you know, anything like they don't understand what just happened. Well, what is this? Especially with first fresheners, you know. And so, that's why we have puppy pads. And I've actually ordered more. There's a whole new pack in there somewhere. I also have molasses. I actually tend to use more local. Last year I ran out of my local molasses and I need to get more from the guy here in Andersonville. But molasses, very important, because when the doe again has labored and they've lost a lot of fluids, you really want to make sure, because they're coming into milk, you're giving them fluids. So by that, we go ahead and get some warm water. That means I do have to come to the house and get warm water. And we put in molasses in that warm water. And we have spoons, like just a cheapo wooden spoon I got from Walmart or Target. And stir it in. And I mean, it's not like I measure this molasses. I just pour it and stir. Those does, number one, they love warm water. I don't know if you have goats and you know about this. Majority of mine love warm water. And with molasses mixed in it, it's like a candy. And so they will drink it, and it gives them energy, and it's just really nice. So we use the molasses for that. If I'm running... better not in here. If I'm running low in the molasses, because you know it's slower than molasses, that's an actual saying, I can kind of help it along. Because again, a lot of times it's cold out there when we're doing this. So everything is a little bit slower. I also have a trash bag. This trash bag is for my dirty laundry. I use feed bags for my actual garbage, like my puppy pads and things like that. So I'll have one feed bag and one garbage bag. And then, so all my garbage, the actual trash goes into the feed bag, and the actual laundry goes into this bag, and I bring it in the house and just put the bag inside out and wash it that way. That, I think, is all that is in this bag. So we'll put that back, and I'll put the hairdryer in here. And the only other bag I have is this big red one, and it is full to the brim of towels. That's all that's in here. I know that sometimes I have paper towels, but the only thing in here, and it's full, completely full, and they're clean towels. And so that's it. We are ready. So again, we will start our kidding season in a little less than 2 weeks, and I'm really excited. Last year, it was a good year with some bad things. And so I'm really, really hoping that it goes smoother, because as bad as 2020 was for some people, that was actually our smoothest kidding year ever. So I would love to have a year like that again. But I also understand it, you know, the more you have kidding, you know, the odds are things can go in a different direction quicker. So anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and definitely hit the like and notification bell, because when these does start kidding, I'm going to start, you know, showing some footage, and I would love to be able to maybe get a birth on there. That's in my plans this year if I possibly can. It gets kind of hairy sometimes. I need the headgear for the GoPro, but I'm hoping that we can do that for you guys. So if you have any questions about this video, please comment below. And if you have anything to add, like if you have your own birthing kit and you have this excellent idea for something, please be sure and share it with us, because that's the only way we all learn is from each other. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a fabulous day.